What is up, everybody? My name is Hello. Welcome back to this channel. We're solving Codeforces problems in Python. In today's video, we're going to be doing the Codeforces around 1076. We're walking through a few problems, some of the easy ones. We're doing problem B today. So this is 2193 problem B called reverse a permutation. Okay. So what does this problem say? You're given a permutation of length n, right? Is an array consisting of n distinct integers, something that's very important, 1 to n in an arbitrary order. That means in a random order, 1 to n is there. All of that is distinct. That's something that's given to us. Okay. So this is a valid permutation, but this is not, meaning this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a permutation of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You're given a permutation P of length n. Okay. Distinct integers, what they're meaning in any order. You can perform the following operation exactly once. You can choose two integers and reverse the segment in the permutation P. Okay, and your task is to output the lexicographically maximum permutation that can be obtained by performing this operation, and this operation can be only performed once. A permutation A is lexicographically greater than a permutation B if the first position is where they differ, and that holds that A of I is greater than B of I. We'll unpack what all of this means very shortly, don't worry. Each test contains, again, very standard template. You get T, and then every time you get N and the list itself, and you're going to find the maximum lexicographically possible output by doing this reversal. Okay, now how do you break this down? Let's go ahead and copy this input right here, and then probably we'll go from there. Okay, so I want to paste this in my handy whiteboard here so that we can try and uncover really what's going on. Okay, so initially, okay, let's say for size 4 I have an array 3, 2, 1, 4. Now they're saying pick any two numbers L and R such as the indexes of L and R is inside here. That means pick any two indices between this list, okay, such that when you swap this list, it is lexicographically the highest. Okay, that's what they're saying. Now in this case, say I swap these two, and I pick this one as L and then this one as R, and I reverse these. What does that look like? See, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this is lexicographically greater than this. What does that mean? See, 4 is greater than 3. Like, think about it as a dictionary for numbers. Basically, how do you rank stuff in a dictionary? You do it in ascending order, but this is in descending order. That's all. So in this permutation right here, okay, for 4, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, the lexicographically highest list will be 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now the second lexicographically highest will be 4, 3, 1, 2. And to compare between these two to see which is lexicographically higher would be, is 4 greater than 4? No. Which is equal to, basically, right? Is 3 equal to 3? Then we go to the next place. Is 2 equal to 1? No. 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, this is the lexicographically higher than this. Okay. If this was 1, 2, A will be lexicographically higher. That's what they mean. They basically want to compare everything and then find out where it's different and finding out which one is bigger in that case. Okay. Now, why do I say this is the answer for this one right here? Think about it this way. You can only perform this reversal operation once, right? So 4 needs to be in the first position somehow. Okay. And only in that case will the highest possible number be 4. Now, obviously 4, 3, 2, 1 is something that we cannot guarantee because you need two switches. 3 has to go from here to here and 4 has to come from here to here. But since the first number is not the maximum element, this is very easy for me. I can just go ahead and put this in the first. So some rules that we have to understand is if the maximum element is not the first, that means I can just swap whatever index this maximum element is, and then I can put it in the first. Right? That's something that's very simple to say, but hard to code. We'll come back to the coding part a bit. Okay. For now, let's just understand this problem. Okay. So now let's take another example. Right. So the second example is 3, 1, 2. Now the lexicographically highest is 3, 2, 1. Why do I say that? Look, this is the maximum element. This maximum element here is in the first position. So I cannot solve for finding the maximum element and swapping that or reversing that until the first position. That's something that I cannot do, right? So this is not the generalized solution, although this is only the specific solution for the first case. So if it's not the maximum element, I'm going to swap the second maximum element. That's how lexicographically works. If 4 is equal to 4, what is the next thing you check? If 3 is equal to the next number. So what is the second highest element of this list? That is what I'm going to check. And that is, I'm finding this. I am swapping that with the next possible position, which is here. Understood? Now, let us take another example. Now here, if you look at example number 3, and it gets a bit interesting with example number 3 because it says 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the lexicographically possible highest string here is 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I am saying string instead of list. I hope you guys forgive me for that. So here, if you look at it, right, this is the maximum element. What did we say? If the maximum element is the first element, check for the second maximum element. Second maximum element is there. That is the second element because that's how it's supposed to be lexicographically. Then third maximum element, search for that. That is also in the right position. Then fourth maximum element, that's also in the right position. So there is no change at all in this case. And the final case is 2, 1. Same thing, 2, 1 is the highest. First maximum in the first position, second maximum in the second position. So what is the solution that we are coming toward? Find the first highest, and this is in asterisk, element not in its lexicographically highest position. What does that mean? It is not the highest position of the list. No, it is the highest position which is not in the lexicographically apt position. Meaning, if I have something like 3, 2, 1, 4, the highest position here, which is not lexicographically in its natural position, is going to be this one right here. Because 4's lexicographical position will be the first position. If I do something like 4, 2, 1, 3, what will be the highest element that not in its lexicographical position? Will be 3. Right? And then that is supposed to be here. Make sense? Now, if we break this down, you can find two things here. One, you can find which element you want to swap. Correct? I want to swap 3. And I also know which position I want to swap it to because it's supposed to be here. So by solving for this, you can actually find out what L, R, and the value is. Right? You're able to understand. Let's talk about how we will solve this using code. Okay? But I want to add one very thing. Now I say, find the first highest element not in its lexicographical position. How do I know, what is in its lexicographical position or not? Well, you do so by whatever list they're giving, just sort it in reverse order. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the lexicographically highest possible permutation for this one. This is not the answer because it'll involve multiple such operations. We're only supposed to do one, but this we can use as a benchmark. Okay, now using this, I'm going to solve for this example again, then we'll go into the code and I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to understand that. Okay, so what are the rules we're setting for ourselves? Initially this 3, 1, 2, 4, sort that in reverse order. 4, 3, 2, 1, this is, we have discussed already multiple times, this is the lexicographically highest for this permutation. Okay, and my input here is 3, 2, 1, 4. I am going to find which is the element not in its lexicographical position. Okay, so what I will do is I will compare the first element of this with the first element of this. Okay, if this is not equal to each other, I know by default this element is not in its lexicographical position. Correct? So this will be my value to search for. Okay, so in this case, this is my value. And at the same time, I know that this is the position I need to start my reversal to. That is, I have to bring this. This is the value. I have to bring it to this position. So this will be L. So what is the L here? L is 0th index. If you want to say first position, you can say that also. Now, I know the value here. If I iterate through this list, can I find out the index of it? Yes, I can. So what is the index? 0, 1, 2, 3. So R is 3. Now, if I go ahead and perform a reversal from 0 to 3. This is 3, this is 0, right? I have to perform a reversal. I will get 4, 1, 2, 3. What is the answer? 4, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Let's go for the next case and then we'll understand this even more. Don't worry. Okay. So case number 2 tells me the input string here is 312, right? And what is the lexicographically highest one? Just sort it in reverse. You get 3, 2, 1. Now let us compare the first with the first element. This is true. Do nothing. Go to the second case. Is this and this equal? This is not equal. So what do I know from here? I know the value. The value to search for is 2 and the position to start my reversal is this position, which is 0, 1. So L is going to be 1. My R is going to be finding this value 2. So 0, 1, 2, second index. Okay. So here it's coincident same value, but these are the indices. Okay. So now if I perform this swap or this reversal here, I get 3, 2, 1, which is the answer. Okay. Now I'm going to do just one more small example so that you guys are able to understand this, and then we'll go ahead and solve the question. Okay. So I am going to take an example saying 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. Okay. What is the lexicographically highest string here? It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Am I right? Am I making sense? Yes, you are. Okay. Now the first element I'm going to compare from the first element here. It is the same. So ignore this, go to the second case. 4 and 4. Same. Ignore this, go to the next case. 3, this is 2 over here, but it should actually be 3, the benchmark, and this is not agreeing. So what value do I need to search for? 3. What is my position here? 2. So L is going to be 0, 1, 2, second index. What is my R going to be? 3, 4. I am going to look at 3. 3 is in the third index. So I am going to make this swap. That will give me 4, 3, 2, 1. If this makes sense to you, let us go ahead and look at this in code. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to basically reconstruct my array. How do I reconstruct my array? I take everything that's good, put it as is. Okay. I take whatever part this is, reverse it, put it as is. Everything that's after is also good, put it as is. Okay. If this makes sense, let's go ahead and see what this looks like in code. Okay. Okay. So let's start coding. Okay. So what is the first thing I need to do? I need to take t as an input. So t will be int of input. Okay. So then what do I need to do? I do for I in range t. I'm just going to use an underscore here because it's not really needed for our use case, right? So what do I take next? I take int input for n. Then what do I take? I take the list itself. That'll be list of map of int comma input dot r strip dot split. Right? What is the next thing I need to find? Lexicographical benchmark. Okay, this is not the answer, but the benchmark. How do I find that out? Let us take a new list, lst2, initialize that as a list of lst. And then let me just go ahead and do lst2.sort and then do a reverse is equal to true. Done. Okay. What do I do next? I have my benchmark here. Let us initialize some values. And this I will set L is equal to 0, R is equal to 0. This means nothing will happen. L and R is 0, no swapping will happen. And the initial value is also 0. The question tells us that there is no negative numbers. If you actually pay, can I show you, right? There is no negative numbers here. So I'm taking 0 as the least number, so that everything that we see will be a greater number than that. Okay. So I'm going to do for, and this will be the finding out where there is a discrepancy. Okay. Where is a mismatch against the benchmark. And that is the first part that we discuss about. So I'm going to do for I in range of n. What am I going to do? I'm going to compare the values of LST and LST2, which is our benchmark. Okay. So LST of I, right, when it is not equal to LST2 of I, that is where I have to make a change. So what is my value? My value will be LST2 of I, and this, using this value, is where we're going to find our R. But we now know the value of L, because where do I need to make the change? Correct? That's where we discussed. If I find out that this is where there's a discrepancy, L will automatically be this index right here, and that is what we're doing here. Once we get this, we can just break through this loop because we don't care about the rest of the elements. We know where we have to make the change. Next, let us find out the index R based on the value. And for that, I'm going to do R in range n. I'm going to just iterate over LST of I. Whenever it's equal to val, I'm just going to go R is equal to I, and I'm going to break this. Since we know all the elements are distinct, I don't have to worry about what if there are two equal elements. Okay, that's something that the question guarantees us. Now let us build the final list. Okay, and there I'm going to set an answer. Okay, and then I'm going to do for I in range 0 to L. What did we discuss? Everything up to L will go good as ever as it is. Everything after R will go good as it is. Everything in between will reverse. Correct? So I 0 to L, I am going to go ahead and add this as is. Append LST of I. Okay, so now reversing, and that will be for I in range. I can just do R to whatever value of L minus 1 is, and I can do minus 1. So I'll go from R to L. That will be our indices here, and that will capture both the index R and the index L. That's why I'm doing a minus 1 over here, if that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and append whatever the value of LST of I here is. And finally, remaining is going to be for I in range. So since we added R here, everything after R plus 1 to the value n, so that'll be n minus 1. Those are the indices, right? I'm going to go ahead and add append LST of I. Okay, once I solve this, I can just go ahead and print the answer itself. Okay, so list is not callable. LST of LST, sorry, it's not supposed to do this. Save, and then I run. You can see both the test cases have passed. Now if you think about the boundary condition where it's the same list, right, in reverse order, even then this will actually work out. Why? Because this L will always remain 0. This part will not happen. Whatever our R is, R becomes 0. So first element gets put into this list as is. Everything from the second element to the end of the list will be put as is. Therefore you get the element or the list as is, whatever the input is. Okay, if this made sense, this is the answer to the solution. In fact, I have submitted the problem also. Let me just pull that up and show you that this is the solution. Has been accepted. So what we're doing here is we're taking the test cases, taking n as the input, we're taking the list, we're creating the benchmark, comparing with the benchmark, finding out what the L value is, finding out what the R value is based on that value, and then creating our new list. If you're able to understand this, if this video helped you, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or alternate approaches, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then, bye.